Blue Lock keeps on dropping heat, as in this chapter, we first see Kira, who is back in Blue Lock. On top of that, we see Shigeo Mizuki, who I know is here to take it home, but outside of them, we also get a brand new pro player, and of course, the white-haired genius back. Alright, starting off this chapter, also called the Birdcage Part 1, as this is just a half chapter. But anyway, we get to the Blue Lock Central Hall, where we see the gremlin with a huge smile on himself, as he welcomes all of the players and calls them geniuses. He continues and tells them that they are the 300 plus strikers that he has personally selected, and I'm super surprised why he decided to choose this player. But moving on, Buratsuda tells them that they have one mission, and that singular mission is to surpass Blue Lock and become the world's best striker. After that, we see Kira, who looks super ready and determined to take up that challenge. However, it's not only him, as we also see the goats Himizu and Reiji behind him, and I know that Reiji is getting ready for revenge. Buratsuda then continues and says that, to do that, they will be holding a careful selection, and the surviving 2 players will get a chance to represent Japan in the U20 World Cup, which is just crazy. But anyway, he is far from stopping, as he tells them that if they are one of those 2, then they will receive his full support, explaining that he will back them up in everything from commercials to domestic and international transfer negotiations, saying that he swears that he will do everything in his power to make them a star. After that, he gets a huge grin on his face as he screams out that if they want everything that soccer has to offer, then they should go. Just then, the doors start to open, and he thinks that he is just as cool as when Ego did it. But anyway, he tells them that the Blue Lock Project Special Edition Side B starts now. With that, we also see some familiar players on the sides. One of them is one of the Wanima twins. We also see Okawa, and that guy that Nagi completely embarrassed in the episode Nagi spin-off. And of course, we also see Nishioka, which is just giving me delusional hope that he will succeed. Anyway, after that, we get to Kira, and we see that every single one of the players around him starts to sprint towards the door. Kira then also locks in and starts to go for it, as he just laughs, saying that he's just ripping off Ego. However, he has some common sense as he says that these contracts are just shiny-looking traps. After that, a mysterious person appears on his right and says that it looks like some former Blue Lock dropouts are here. Kira is first just shocked as a random person in a hoodie starts speaking to him, but he then asks the guy if he is also a former Blue Lock dropout. However, the guy says that he is not from Blue Lock. After that, he takes off his hoodie, and we see that his name is Haneru Shindo. Haneru says that he is part of the fresh batch Buratsuda called for this selection. He also reveals that he is with the team AAA from the Netherlands League. After that, he sends a wink towards Kira and tells him that it's nice to meet him and calls him Japan's Hope, which, let's just take a moment, because how cold is that nickname? Honestly, it should transfer over to Isagi at this point. Anyway, Kira just says likewise and that it's also really nice to meet him. After that, he asks him if he is also in the first room. Haneru says that he sure is. He says that it's on these cards that they gave them, right? After that, we see that it's divided into 25 rooms, and after Haneru says that it looks like they are going in the right direction. Hey, it's Natsu, mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? After that, Haneru says that he has to admit that he can't believe that the famous Kira Ryosuke couldn't hack it in Blue Lock, and on top of that, he is now taking another crack at it. He calls it intense and says that Kira must have really loved Blue Lock. However, Kira right away tells him that he is wrong and says that Blue Lock is nothing but trash. He says that what's going on here is basically inhumane brainwashing. He then explains that he took Buratsuda's offer so that he could refute those methods. Haneru looks back at him and says that he understands, saying that Kira is an anti-Blue Lock extremist. Kira then looks furious as he says that he very well is, saying that he is risking it all to come back here just so that he can crush Blue Lock and Isagi, and that's honestly aura on a whole different level. Anyway, after that, Haneru says that he understands, and after that, both he and Kira enter the room. As they enter, they see a super sad looking Nagi sitting right in the middle. Also, he already has his suit on, and it's pretty interesting, as his suit is like the other way around from the previous Blue Lock suits, as they have wrapped the colors around. Anyway, with that said, we come to an end, as this was just a half chapter, and that's why it was so short. However, I'm pretty positive that there won't be a break next week, so I guess that we will get part 2 of this chapter next week already. But today, let's try and focus on this madness of a chapter, as while it was super short, it was pretty exciting because, like, what do you mean that we get introduced to a new pro player right off the bat? I did talk a lot about my overall thoughts in the leak video. However, it feels like it has been ages since then. So if I accidentally repeat myself, sorry. But leaks coming out on, like, a Saturday is so strange, to be honest. Anyway, the players who we have back are Kira, Reiji, Himizu, and Nishioka. We also had some others, but these are the only players I would consider noteworthy. Will they end up getting completely destroyed for the sake of the story? Well, for sure, especially Himizu and Reiji. I do think that they will at least put up some sort of fight and be like the last 10 alive. However, in the end, I don't see them making it, even though getting Reiji back would be so insanely sick, and he would be one of my first picks if I had to choose. Himizu is also cool, don't get me wrong, but Reiji is just on another level. Now let's talk overall about Haneru and Kira, and I'm so confused to why Haneru is even here. For me it doesn't make sense at all. Fine. I get the aspect that getting a pro involved will be a bit spicy, and we will be able to easier see which stage each of the players are currently at. However, if you ask me, then Nagi is obviously guaranteed to make it, and I strongly believe that Kira will be the second player. Now is it because I really like him for some reason? Well, maybe a bit, however I also think that it makes the most sense. He is one of the prime people that Buratsuda is looking for. Someone who despises Blue Lock and goes against all that Blue Lock is about. And that's literally Kira, as he said in this chapter, about how much he hated Blue Lock, and how he wanted to destroy both Blue Lock and Isagi. Also adding another rival to Isagi would just always be exciting, as it will be kind of like yin and yang. Isagi is someone who takes after Blue Lock's teachings, fully. Meanwhile, Kira is someone who rejects Blue Lock teachings fully. Like there can't be a better comparison between the two, even though it already have been done before. As I mean, that's the same thing since chapter 2, when Isagi right away embraced Blue Lock and took Kira out. Anyway, this leads me to my point by saying that I believe that Kira and Nagi will make it, so why is someone else here? If it's only to spicy up the story, then that's fine. But I just feel bad for him, if he will just be a side character to appears here in side B. He gets a few chapters, but after that he gets done over and never gets to appear again. But who knows, they might try and set him up for a future club arc. Or there is something which I am overlooking, and he might get the spot before Kira. Like I said before, I don't really believe it, as Kira is just perfect for that spot in my opinion. But anyway, I'm just ranting at this point, so please let me know what you think about Haneru and who you think will make it down below. Now moving on to Nishioka, and you guys knew that if he is in the chapter, I just have to talk about him. This guy is my literal goat, and I hate how he appeared in this chapter, because that gives me this little delusional feeling that just maybe he will finally showcase himself and win alongside Nagi. However, like said before, that wouldn't really make sense, but I would be all here for it. Just imagine if he comes in and says that he will try for real from now on, and then he just goes primal and crushes everyone. However, don't worry, I sadly know that it won't happen, but let's all hope for it. At least the last thing I want to cover is that from the looks of it, Buratsuda might have decided to literally just copy Ego and go with a tag game just like him. If he goes alongside that route, then I don't know. I wouldn't be that hyped for that specific game if I'm honest, because well, we have already seen it been done in the real Blue Lock. So I hope that Buratsuda has instead used his brain a little bit and come up with another game for them to play. As well, I believe that they will also do some sort of mini-game to start it off and eliminate someone, as it's a quick way to get out of a portion of the competition. As in all honesty, there is no reason to continue with the whole 300 players. It's more to showcase just how intense this side B will be and what they can expect. However, I'm super curious to what Buratsuda's plan afterward is, if he will make them play matches as well, or what he will be cooking up. Let me know if you have any ideas on what he is scheming, and also please rate this chapter 1 to 10. As this is a half chapter, it's hard to rate it, but I would give it like a safe and standard 5 as not much really happened. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.